So from there, welcome back to my YouTube tutorial channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. So on today's tutorial, I'll be taking you through the easy steps on how to apply and blend your eyeshadow. So let me break this down because I'm not going to assume that everybody knows what an eyeshadow is. An eyeshadow is a cosmetic that is used to enhance the eyelids and the eye area in general. So this video is in effect today's request up here. Just like you do to the rest of your face, it's extremely essential to make sure your eyelids are primed. Why? Because if you prime your eyelids, it's gonna make sure your eyeshadow stays in place and for a longer time. There are various eye primers in the market. If you can get hold of one of them, that's okay. If you can't, use your normal face primer. It works the same way. So I'm going to be using a water gel primer by Makeup Revolution. You can choose to use whatever works for you for your eyelid to apply your primer. So you can use a brush, you can use a sponge, you can use Q-tips. This is how a Q-tip looks like, or you can use your own fingers. Sponge works, but it absorbs a lot of product. Brush works as well, and it blends nicely. It does not absorb a lot of product. I'm going to use a brush. This is how the brush looks like. So you take a little bit of your product onto the brush. I just go in by tapping it like that. The next process, I'm going to be going in with my concealer, and in the concealer bit, the lighter the concealer, the more pigmented the eyeshadow will look at the end. Unlike liquid concealers, I prefer to use cream concealers on my eyelid. The liquid concealer moves a lot. The cream concealer stays in one place. So for today, I'm going to be using number 20, Maybelline. It comes with its own applicator that you just apply like that. I usually apply it just above my crease, so the crease is around this, is here, so just go above it a little bit. You don't want to go higher than this with a concealer, because if you go higher, blending your concealer into the previous concealer that you applied on your eyebrow is going to be so hard. You might end up messing the whole thing. You can either use a sponge or a brush. Come to this side and do the same. In case it's been long before you apply your eyeshadow and you can't get rid of the line, however much you try to dab it with your brush, just go back to your concealer, take a little bit, and then just continue to dab until it disappears. The next bit is I'm going to powder my eyelids. So on top of my concealer, I put powder first. The reason why I put a powder is because it helps me to blend the eyeshadows, different colors of eyeshadows smoothly, or even it helps applying an eyeshadow. Let's say you're using just one color, it makes it so easy to blend the color or to smoothen it out. So unless otherwise you're doing a runway type of eyeshadow look. So I take her translucent powder by Maron. So you pick a fluffy brush, you dip it into your powder, and make sure you extend your powder to your brow bone. The next part is very interesting. I'm going to be using the tape to create but for my wing liner, or to help me determine where to stop with my eyeshadow, I've done one side of my eye. I'm gonna just take you through the other side that's left. Assume you're using these 1, 2, 3 colors. Okay, your mid-tone color in this case is gonna be this one. All right, it's the color that falls between the lightest to the darkest color that you're using. Your mid-tone color acts as a base. The trick to having a more awake eye, or more like eyeshadow that stands out at the end of the day, is making sure that the color that you apply in the inner corner of your eye is brighter than the shade you apply at the outer corner of your eye. For today, I'm going to be using the IMAGIC palette in number 322, RIMMEL LONDON Spice Edition. The first color I'm going to be using is my mid-tone color, and the mid-tone color is going to be coming from the RIMMEL LONDON Spice Edition palette, and my mid-tone color is this. But these types of brushes are very essential in your brush collection. IMAGIC palette, I'm going to go in with this shade of color, I think darker brown, and then I just go in like that and build it up, build it until the shade can be seen. And you use a clean brush on the outer part like that. Using this shade. If you're a more mature person, it helps to apply shimmer at the front instead of a matte finish, because with the shimmer, the thing it does is it reduces the appearance of the fine lines. With our transition color, it will be between the darker shade and the brightest shade. I just go in and tap like that. And blend it with a brush like that. Always remember to put your eyeshadow on before you put on your lashes. It makes the work so easy. Essence Matte Black Eyeliner. So that there marks the end of our eyeshadow application process. It's not such a hard thing to do. You just have to master the tricks. So I'm hoping you learned something from it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you've not yet subscribed until that point, I don't know what you're waiting for, honestly. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, Achy Brey.